18 million people call the Bay watershed home. That means we have 18 million reasons to protect this landscape. And incidentally, we'll have an additional 4 million reasons by 2050. If we don't increase our focus on protecting and restoring the Chesapeake, our children and grandchildren won't experience the same bay that we do today, full of wildlife, history, and wonder. This is Chesapeake Conversations. I'm Joel Dunn. The World Wildlife Fund released a startling report in 2018 that said, on average, we have seen a 60% decline in the world's mammal, bird, fish, reptile, and amphibian population since 1970. That means over the course of 2 generations, we've seen more than half of the world's wildlife disappear. If I am honest with myself, I'm not surprised that the numbers are as high as they are. I've witnessed firsthand the impact that deforestation has in all the various places I've lived throughout my 43 years on this planet. New England, the Pacific Northwest, Central and South America, and most recently the Chesapeake Bay. The World Wildlife Fund's findings simply add all of the habitat loss and land use changes into one solid statistic. Globally, it's clear that our natural assets can no longer be taken for granted. Closer to home, we have to take action to make sure that the Chesapeake remains a thriving ecosystem for generations to come. We would want Rachel Carson to confirm to our grandchildren that spring is just as boisterous as we remember it being as children. We'd want Aldo Leopold to confirm that the fierce green fire has not died out. We'd want Teddy Roosevelt to tell us that we have been fierce stewards of the most glorious heritage a people ever received. We need to adopt the Native American philosophy of thinking 7 generations into the future, and plan and act for them. In the face of global catastrophe, it's time to do things wildly different, and to think and plan at previously unimaginable spatial scales. Noted conservationist E.O. Wilson, and author of Half Earth, proposes a bold plan to save our imperiled biosphere, conserve half the surface of the Earth, both land and ocean, to maintain nature. It's time to put serious consideration into setting a goal of maintaining half of the Chesapeake Bay watershed by conserving and restoring working lands and natural lands and the places that matter for the future of our region. Something like this can and should only be done with willing landowners and using precision conservation techniques so that it's done at the direction of communities and in the right places on the landscape. In 2018, the Weiss Foundation launched an unprecedented $1 billion campaign to help nations conserve 30% of the planet by the year 2030. Hans-Jörg Wyss, the philanthropist who launched the Weiss Foundation, said, "From the forests that supply our drinking water to the rugged backcountry that inspires the imagination of our children, everyone on Earth has a stake in conserving our planet's wild places before they're gone." Both Wilson and Weiss are thinking big, and we need to take the same approach here in the Chesapeake. Currently, approximately 22% of the land area in the Chesapeake watershed is conserved. This includes important working lands, rich farmlands, and productive forests, as well as our natural lands, including national and state parks and wildlife areas. In comparison, approximately 11% of the watershed is developed. A distant goal of protecting 50% of the watershed's working lands and natural lands would still leave around 39% available for future growth and development and other needs of society. The 2014 Chesapeake Bay Watershed Agreement committed to protecting 2 million acres of additional land by 2025, along with 300 new public access sites. And based on the 2018 information, we're 2/3 of the way there to both the 2 million acre goal and the access goal, which is certainly something to celebrate. But we need to begin to identify goals beyond 2025. We've gotten this far with an all-of-the-above strategy, bringing together federal, state, local officials, private landowners, philanthropists, nonprofit advocates, ecosystem investors, Native American tribes, and many others to share knowledge, financial resources, and innovative solutions. Importantly, we've also begun to move from viewing conservation as individual acts to conserving and connecting larger ecosystems. We all want a vibrant economy, strong communities with places to work and live, working farms and forests, vital habitat for native wildlife, and clean water. We also want to preserve our shared heritage, our recreational opportunities, and quality of life. And we should consider all of the interests, needs, and desires that come to bear on our beloved Chesapeake in forums where all may feel free to learn, be open and transparent, and listen to others. Let's take Wilson and Weiss's ideas to our own backyard, and with those insights as a beacon, let's seriously think through how these ideas apply to our Chesapeake Bay and the watershed. For us all, it's time to think big, because our Chesapeake is the biggest asset we all share, and with careful stewardship, we can pass on something we're proud of to our children and our grandchildren. This is the goal of a lifetime. For more information about the Chesapeake Conservancy, check out our website at www.chesapeakeconservancy.org. Chesapeake Conversations is produced by Platform Media. Our music is by Scott McDaniel from Wild Echo Media. Special thanks to our partners and donors who make our work possible. I'm Joel Dunn.